Hi. Well, I made a little video on how I make German fry sausage, Fry Wurst, at home. It's pretty easy to do. I'll go over the recipe that I use with you. It's 6 pounds of pork butt cut into 1-inch cubes, and I use boneless country ribs. So they've been trimmed of all the bad fat, and there's just a little bit of fat on there, about, I would say, probably 80% lean. I use a tablespoon of kosher salt, 1 1/4 tablespoons of ground pepper, a half a teaspoon of Instacure number 1, that's pink salt, and that can be used, or that can be bought at www.sausagemaker.com. And I use a tablespoon, or 1.5 tablespoons of Cavender's Greek seasoning. And Cavender's can be, I find it in the grocery store, and you can also get it online at cavenders.com. Just search for Cavender's. 1 teaspoon of ground coriander, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, and then I also make a garlic water by taking a half a head of peeled garlic in a pint of water, blend it in a blender, and let it sit for 24 hours, then strain. You only use a half a cup out of that pint, but it really works good and you don't get a bunch of garlic. So here's my country ribs, and I just cut them into small cubes to go through the grinder. You can use pork shoulder or Boston butt or anything like that. There's the cubes that I made up, and what I do then is we've got the garlic water and my seasoning mixture. There's the half a cup of garlic water, and Cavender's seasoning is what I used. That's what it looks like, and my spice blend. So I generally sprinkle it over the top along with the garlic water, and then I mix it by hand in the bowl until it's kind of all worked in real good. And I cover it, and I keep it overnight just to let it cure a little bit, and the seasonings to get into the meat, and it works real well that way. But the other way you can do it is you can mix in your spices after you've ground the meat. So here's my grinder setup, and my video of grinding the meat messed up, so I wasn't able to get that in here, but I do have excuse me, I've got a bad throat here. I do have the rest of it on video for you. Now listen, if you don't have a grinder, don't worry about it. Just buy ground pork, fresh ground pork. I used to put in with it my my seasoning, or my ground beef, but the pork is so lean anymore these days. Back in the old days you had to put beef into it to kind of lean it up a little bit, but it's so lean that you don't need to do that anymore. You can just use pork for the whole thing. So this is my sausage stuffer. That's the tube. You put the casings over the tube, and you just crank it. That's a 5-pound stuffer, so we got 6 pounds of sausage. So you gotta when you put it into the tube here, I'll show you. You just put your hamburger mixture or your sausage mixture after the seasonings are made and it's ground. It's sausage, and you just put that in there and you pack it down real good so you don't have a lot of air bubbles in there. So here's the casings. I buy these casings at the Whole Foods Market, and they're on a what they call pre-tubed. That little plastic there goes over the tube, and you just slide it on. It's very easy to slide on then, and you slide it on, and then you just cut it and where you want it, because this little piece here would stuff about 25 pounds of meat, and we only got 6 pounds. But I'll show you here the way it's kind of. It's hard to hold the camera and show you there, but you can kind of get the idea how that slides over the tube. Then you slide the casings onto the tube, and then you just pull that plastic out, and it's on. So there we are. We're all ready to start stuffing. We just load that into the to the crank base there, and put the casings on the front, and away we go. Here I am now. I'm holding that kind of to keep pressure on it so it stays kind of full. You don't want to have air gaps in there or anything. And then when I've got about the amount that I want, which this one here was a large one, I guess I was thinking that I really was hungry for this one or whatever, but it'll go good on the grill. It'll be real nice, nice amount there on the grill. And that's your sausage. And then I stuff the rest of them, and there you have it. We've got about 5 rings or 5 sticks of sausage that'll go into the smoker. And so, by the way, if you don't have a grinder, don't worry about it. Buy ground pork and season it up with the seasonings. If you don't have a smoker or you don't have a stuffer, don't worry about that either. Just take your pork and lay it flat on take your sausage and lay it flat on the tray like that, and put it into a smoker and let it smoke that way. You don't have to stuff sausage. And then you can make them up like hamburgers. And if you don't have a stuffer, don't worry about that either. Buy some liquid smoke. For this amount, 6 pounds, you just put about a teaspoon and a half of liquid smoke in there, and you'll have basically the same flavors that you had with the regular sausage like this. I like the old time way with the cold smoking like this, but the liquid smoke, if you don't have a smoker, that's fine. And if you don't have a stuffer, you can buy the casings and stuff them using a funnel. Okay, here's what I use is I use apple wood and hickory, a little bit of each. I'll take and alternate them so they go onto the smoker. And there are those little pucks that are down here. These pucks go into the tube, and they drop into the heater one every 20 minutes on the smoker that I have, which is a Bradley smoker, and I've had that for almost 10 years now. Well, goodness, this is taking a while. Okay, so here's the smoker, and I've got it set up for cold smoking, where the heater and everything here is down away from the elements, so the heater itself isn't plugged in. There's the pucks that drop down one every 20 minutes, and the smoke goes up through here, and it's cold. It's not heating up the inside or cooking the sausage whatsoever. So it's fresh sausage that's just had the smoke on it. And there's the pucks. They come off here and drop down into here after it's all done. And here's the sausage all ready to go. They're all loaded in, and all we got to do is fire it up, and it'll start smoking. I'll put about 2 hours of smoke on these, It's not a heavy smoke, but as you can see, after an hour, you can see the pucks have dropped down and there's not very many left in there. So it's been working about an hour now, and we're getting a pretty good smoke up in here. As you can tell, when I open the door, there's the smoke coming out. It's a nice, good size smoke coming out of there, and it's been working for about an hour now. It's got an hour to go. And you can see where it was a cool morning here this morning. It's about 50 degrees, 60 degrees is here, 50 degrees is down at the thing. And here we are, the finished product. We've got fresh smoked fry sausage, just like we used to get back when I was a kid. At least it tastes like it to me. Well, thanks a lot. I think it's time for me to go pack these up and put them in the freezer and leave one out for some strudels.